Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be breaking down the NBA slate for Friday, March 10th. We got an 8-game slate on for this Friday, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, starting off at point guard. Your top point guard on this slate is James Harden. He gets a good matchup against the Bulls. They really struggle defensively against the point guard. I think Harden is definitely in play on this slate, even at $62. A lot of guys are underpriced on Yahoo, so I think there is enough value to where you can fit Harden in. So if you want to pay up for him, I like that on this slate. There are plenty of other studs to pay up for, but Harden is definitely the top one. Under him, you got Steph Curry against Minnesota. I'm probably not going to go there. Ricky Rubio is a pretty good defender, and Curry is way overpriced in my opinion at $53. He has to get you almost 60 fantasy points to pay off that price tag, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that. So I'm not going to be on Curry. I think he's way too expensive, especially on Yahoo. Under him, you got John Wall against Sacramento. If you're going to pay up for point guard, I would much rather take Wall over Curry. Wall's just a better overall player. He just gets more peripherals. He just has a better overall projection. So if I'm going to pay that price tag for a point guard, I would much rather have Wall over Curry. Wall should be able to dominate against Sacramento. They really struggle defensively. Even at $51, I think Wall is a little expensive, but he can still pay off that price tag. He shouldn't have a problem getting you at least 45 to 50 fantasy points. So I like Wall if you want to pay up. Isaiah Thomas against Denver. I really like this matchup for Thomas, but I'm not going to be playing him at that price tag on Yahoo. $48, that's just way too much for Thomas. He's really struggled to pay off that price tag lately. He has to get you almost 50 fantasy points to pay that off. And even in this good matchup, I don't think he's going to be able to do that, so I'm not going to be on Thomas. I don't really like his price. Under him, you got Kemba against Orlando. I really like this matchup for Kemba. The Hornets are playing at home, and Kemba does play very well at home. And this is a good matchup. Orlando really struggles defensively. Even at $41, I think Kemba is in play. He's been playing very well lately. So if you're looking to pay up at point guard, I also like Kemba on this slate. He shouldn't have a problem paying off that price tag against Orlando. A guy at the mid-range I like. I really like Ricky Rubio at home against the Warriors. This is going to be an up-and-pace, high-scoring game. Rubio has really good upside in this matchup. He could go off against the Warriors. They really struggle defensively against the point guard. Steph Curry is not a good defender. And Rubio has been playing very well lately. So I really like him even at $30. I think he can pay that price tag off in this up-and-pace matchup. So I really like Rubio on this slate. I think he's definitely in play. Under him, you got Jeff Teague against Milwaukee. I'm probably not going to go there. Teague has been struggling lately. If I'm going to attack the mid-range at point guard, I'm either going to find the $2 for Rubio, or I would pay down and take Dennis Schroeder against Toronto. Schroeder just gets a way better matchup. Schroeder's going to be guarded by Corey Joseph, and he should be able to dominate in that matchup. And he is also very underpriced at only $27. He shouldn't have a problem paying off that price tag in this matchup. So if you need some point guards in the mid-range, I'm really liking Ricky Rubio and Dennis Schroeder. They're definitely going to be some guys I target on this slate. Both of them are very underpriced and get really good matchups, so I like them too. Some point guards on the cheaper end I really like Elfrid Payton against Charlotte. Payton is way underpriced on Yahoo at only $18. He's been killing it lately. In his last 4 games, he's put up 39, 24, 44, and 65 fantasy points. Payton does have really good upside, and he has been very consistent as of late as well, so I really like him in cash games and tournaments. If I'm looking for some value at point guard, Payton's definitely going to be a guy I target on this slate. He's just way underpriced, and this is a good matchup, so if you need some value at point guard, I'm really liking Elfrid Payton. He's definitely going to be a guy I target on this slate. Also, I like Yogi Ferrell against Brooklyn. This is a revenge game for Ferrell. He did play for the Nets earlier this year before he got waived and the Mavericks picked him up. So he might come out with a little bit of extra fire going up against his former team. And he's been playing pretty well as of late, and he's been pretty consistent. I doubt I'm going to target him on this slate, though. I'm just probably going to find the $2 to get to Elfrid Payton. But if you need some value, I like Yogi Ferrell. He should be able to pay off that price tag against the Nets. They really struggle defensively, and they play at a really fast pace, so I like Ferrell for value. One more value play I like Corey Joseph against the Hawks. The Hawks are one of the worst teams defensively against the point guard, and Corey Joseph is way underpriced on Yahoo at $14. He shouldn't have a problem paying off that price tag, given the matchup and the amount of minutes Joseph will play. I really like him with that price. He shouldn't have a problem getting you at least 20 to 25 fantasy points, which is good for that $14 price tag. So I also really like Corey Joseph for value. I think he's a good value play on this slate. He's just way underpriced. And yeah, that's pretty much it for point guard. Let's go ahead and move on to shooting guard. Alright, your top shooting guard on this slate is DeMar DeRozan. He gets a good matchup against the Hawks. They're not good defensively against the shooting guard. But I'm not going to be targeting DeRozan on this slate. He's been struggling lately, and he's way overpriced in my opinion at $47. I can't pay that price tag for him. He has to get you almost 50 fantasy points to pay that off, and I'm not sure if he can do that. So I'm not going to be on DeRozan on this slate. I think he's way too expensive. Bradley Beal against Sacramento. If you're looking to pay up at shooting guard, I really like that for Beal. His price has increased to $34, but he has been playing very well as of late. Given the matchup, I do think he can pay off that price tag. He only has to get you 35 fantasy points to pay that off. And he can easily do that against the Kings, so if you want to pay up at shooting guard, I'm really liking Bradley Beal. D-Wade is expected to play against Houston. I really like this matchup for Wade. It's going to be a good up-and-pace matchup for the Bulls. But I don't think I can pay that price tag for D-Wade. If I'm going to pay up at shooting guard, I would just find the extra dollar to get to Beal. So I don't like Wade. I think he's a little bit too expensive, but this is a really good up-and-pace matchup. So if he's cheaper on other sites, I like him there. But on Yahoo, I won't be playing him at that price tag. Klay Thompson against Minnesota. I really like this matchup for Thompson. Minnesota really struggles defensively against the shooting guard. But Thompson is also way overpriced in my opinion at $32. Like I said with D-Wade, if I'm going to pay up for shooting guard, I'm just going to take Bradley Beal. So I won't be on Thompson on this slate. I think he's a little bit too expensive. Nick Batum against Orlando. I really like this matchup for Batum. And Batum's price is pretty reasonable at $31. I think he's a good play at that price. Given the matchup against Orlando, he shouldn't have a problem paying that off. So if you don't want to pay up for Beal on this slate, I like Batum at the cheaper end. He shouldn't have a problem paying off that cheap price tag. This is a really good matchup against Orlando. Some guys at the mid-range I like. I really like Seth Curry against the Nets. Curry is a little expensive in my opinion at $25, but given the matchup, he can easily pay that off. He has also been playing very well as of late. So if you need a shooting guard at the mid-range, I'm really liking Seth Curry. He should be able to pay off that price tag against the Nets. They're terrible defensively. Also like Avery Bradley against Denver. Bradley has been playing with a minutes restriction, but Wednesday against the Warriors, his minutes got lifted to 30 minutes. If he's going to get at least 30 minutes, I like him in this up-and-pace matchup against the Nuggets. I think he can pay off that $22 price tag even if he only plays 30 minutes. This is just a really good up-and-pace matchup, and the Nuggets are bad defensively against the shooting guard. So I really like Bradley at only $22, but make sure he's still going to play at least 30 minutes. If he's going to play less than that, I probably won't go after him, but if he's going to play at least 30 minutes, I like him in this matchup. And one guy on the cheaper end I like Eric Gordon against the Bulls. Ryan Anderson is currently questionable for this game. If Anderson does not play, Eric Gordon should get the start. Anderson didn't play Wednesday against Utah, and Gordon started, and he played 40 minutes and put up 23 fantasy points. At only $16, I think he's a very good play on this slate for value if Ryan Anderson is out. Gordon should get the start, and he'll play heavy minutes, so I like him. If you're looking for value on this slate, he should be able to pay off that price tag. And yeah, that's pretty much it for shooting guard. Let's go ahead and move on to small forward. Alright, your top small forward on the slate is Jimmy Butler. He gets a really good up-and-pace matchup against Houston. I really like Butler in this matchup, but I'm not a big fan of his price tag at $48. He has to get you almost 50 fantasy points to pay off that price tag, and I don't know if that's a likely outcome. So I don't think I'm going to be on Butler on this slate. I think he's a little bit too expensive. Dwayne Wade is expected to be back for this game, so Butler's really going to take a hit. So I don't think he's in play with that price tag. Andrew Wiggins against Golden State. I really like this matchup for Wiggins. It's a good up-and-pace matchup. Wiggins has also seen a price decrease to $36. He has been struggling as of late, but I definitely think he can bounce back in this up-and-pace matchup. So I really like Wiggins if you're looking to pay up at small forward. I think he can pay off that price tag. He has really good upside in this matchup, and he has a pretty solid floor. So I like Wiggins if you want to pay up. The guy I really like, though, at small forward is Paul George against Milwaukee. George is way underpriced on Yahoo at $33. And he gets a terrific matchup against the Bucks. They're one of the worst teams defensively against the small forward. So PG is definitely going to be the small forward I'm targeting on this slate. I think he's just way underpriced. He shouldn't have a problem paying off that price tag given the matchup. So I really like him. I think he's a terrific play on this slate at that price tag. Otto Porter against Sacramento. I'm probably not going to go there. I doubt I'm going to be targeting the mid-range and small forward. I'm just going to probably pay up. Alright, the mid-range, I like Jay Crowder against Denver. This is going to be a really good up-and-pace matchup for the Celtics. Crowder should be able to pay off that cheap $23 price tag given the matchup. He's been very consistent as of late. So if you need a cash game small forward at the mid-range, I'm really liking Jay Crowder. He shouldn't have a problem paying off his price tag given the matchup. Also like Chris Middleton against the Pacers. Middleton has seen his price increase to $22, which is a little expensive. But he's been playing very well as of late. So I also like Middleton at the mid-range at small forward. I think he's a good play on this slate. Even though he plays on a minutes restriction, he can still pay off his price tag in 30 minutes. So I like Middleton. I think he's in play. At that same price tag, you got Wesley Matthews against the Nets. I'm probably not going to go there for Matthews. This is a really good matchup, but Matthews has been struggling as of late. If I'm going to attack the mid-range at small forward and pay that price tag, I would just take Chris Middleton over Matthews. They're the same price. I think Middleton's the better play there. So I'm not going to be on Matthews. And yeah, that's pretty much it for small forward. There really isn't much value here. I'm probably just going to be paying up for PG. But if you don't want to pay up, you can look at the mid-range and go for Crowder or Middleton. I really like them at the mid-range. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to power forward. All right, your top power forward on this slate is the Greek Freak. He gets a really good matchup against the Pacers. They really struggle defensively against the power forward. I really like the Greek Freak on this slate. If you're looking for a stud to pay up for, I think the Greek Freak's the guy you want to target. I really liked him Wednesday against New York, and he went off for 69 fantasy points. I doubt he'll be able to repeat that stat line, but I think he can get you 60 in this matchup. I'm really liking the stack in this game with PG and Giannis. I think both of them are going to go at each other, and both of them are going to have very good games. So if you need a little mini stack for tournaments, I'm really liking Giannis and PG. Both of them are very underpriced on Yahoo, so you can fit them in your lineups. There's enough value on this slate to where you can fit both of them in. But yeah, I really think Giannis is a good play on this slate. I'm definitely going to try and fit him in my lineups if I can find enough value. Under him, you got Draymond against Minnesota. I also really like Draymond if you want to pay up. Ever since KD got injured, Draymond's really stepped up, and he's been very consistent. He's also very underpriced on Yahoo at only $36. He can easily pay that off given the matchup. So I like Draymond as well if you want to pay up. Paul Millsap against Toronto. I really like Millsap just because of his price. This isn't a great matchup, but Millsap is very cheap at only $33. Even with the bad matchup against Serge Ibaka, I still think Millsap can pay off that price tag at $33. If I were you, I would just try and find the $3 to get to Draymond. But I think Millsap is in play. He's just way too cheap. He can still pay off that price tag even in the bad matchup. Some power forwards I like in the mid-range. I do like Serge Ibaka against the Hawks. Ibaka is very cheap at only $27, and he's been very consistent as of late. He's hit value in 4 straight games. So if you need a mid-range power forward on this slate, I like Ibaka at only $27. I think he can pay off that price tag in this matchup. So I like him at the mid-range. Markieff against Sacramento. I'm probably not going to go there. Markieff has really been struggling lately. If I'm going to pay that price tag for a power forward, I would much rather have Ibaka. They're the same price. I think Ibaka is the better play there. Harrison Barnes against the Nets. I really like this matchup for Barnes. If you need a cash game power forward at the mid-range, I think Barnes is going to be a guy you want to target. He can easily pay off that price tag given this matchup. So I like Barnes at the mid-range. I think he's in play on this slate. He shouldn't have a problem paying off his price tag against the Nets. Under him, I also really like Wilson Chandler against Boston. If Nikola Jokic does not play in this game, I think Chandler is definitely going to be a power forward I target on this slate. If Jokic is out, then Chandler will play heavy minutes and he'll produce. So I really like Wilson Chandler on this slate. If Nikola Jokic does not play, I think he's a great play at power forward. He's definitely going to be someone I target if Jokic is out. Aaron Gordon's a guy we've been targeting for value, but his price has got up to $21. I don't think I'm going to pay that price tag for him. If I'm going to attack the mid-range at power forward, I'll just find the extra dollars to get to Chandler, Barnes, or Ibaka. Don't think I'm going to play Gordon on this slate. I think he's a little bit too expensive with that price. At the cheaper end, I like Marvin Williams against Orlando. Williams has really had to step up ever since Frank Kaminsky got hurt. He started to play heavy minutes, and he's been playing very well. If you need a cheap power forward on the slate, I like Marvin Williams at only $18. Like I said, he's been playing very well as of late, and this is a really good matchup, so I think he can pay off that price tag. So I like Marvin Williams on the cheaper end. And yeah, that's pretty much it for power forward. Let's go ahead and move on to center. All right, your top center on this slate is Karl Anthony Towns. He gets a really good up-and-pace matchup against the Warriors. I'm really liking Towns if you want to pay up at center. I'm not a big fan of his price tag at $49, but he has been playing very well lately. I think he can get you 50 fantasy points in this matchup, which is good for his price. So if you want to pay up at center, I like Karl Anthony Towns. He's going to be a stud you want to target on this slate. Under him, I also really like Nikola Jokic against the Celtics. Jokic is questionable for this game, so if he doesn't play, then obviously you can't play him. But if Jokic is going to play, then I really like him even at $48. I think he can pay off that price tag against the Celtics. They really struggle defensively against the center. So I also really like Jokic if you want to pay up at center. But he is questionable for this game, so make sure he's playing before you lock him in. At the mid-range, I do like Dwight Howard against Toronto. Howard's just way underpriced at only $25. He can easily pay off that price tag. He only has to get you 25 to 30 fantasy points to pay that off, and he can easily do that. So if you need a mid-range center, I really like Dwight Howard at only $25. He's just way underpriced. He can easily pay off that price tag. Also at the mid-range, I like Al Horford against Denver. Denver really struggles defensively against the center. Nikola Jokic is not a good defender. And Horford is very cheap at only $23. I think he can easily pay off that price tag in this matchup. So also really like Al Horford at the mid-range. If you're looking for a center at that price range, I like him. He can easily pay off that price tag in this matchup. If Nikola Jokic does not play, then I really like Mason Plumlee at only $19. In the 2 games that Jokic was out, Plumlee played 31 minutes in both of those games and put up 29 and 36 fantasy points. I'm not going to be targeting Plumlee if Jokic plays, but if Jokic is out, then Plumlee will play heavy minutes, and he should produce against Boston. Boston is a really bad rebounding team, and Plumlee is a pretty solid rebounder, so I really like him at the cheaper end if Nikola Jokic is out. Another cheap center I really like is Bismack Biyombo against Charlotte. Nikola Vucevic is questionable for this game. If Vooch is out, then Biyombo should get the start, and he will play heavy minutes. In the 3 games that Vooch was out, Biyombo started, and he played 34, 41, and 35 minutes, and put up 35, 27, and 13 fantasy points. At only $13, I think Biyombo is a very good value play on this slate. He's just way underpriced for the amount of minutes he's going to play. He should be able to pay off that price tag without a problem against Charlotte. So I really like Biyombo for value if Vucevic is out. He's definitely going to be a center I target on this slate. At the minimum price, I also really like Kosta Koufos against Washington. Koufos has been very consistent as of late. In his last 3 games, he's put up 26, 29, and 23 fantasy points. And he's played 37, 24, and 24 minutes. His minutes are a little inconsistent, but he has been playing very well lately. I feel like they're going to need Koufos to play heavy minutes because they're going to need him to bang with Marcin Gortat. So if you need a minimum price center on this slate, I like Kosta Koufos. I think he can get you 20 fantasy points in this matchup. And yeah, that's pretty much it for center. Go ahead and give you guys my starting 5. Alright guys, so this is my starting 5 for the NBA slate on Friday, March 10th. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT, and I'll be sure to answer your question. But yeah, if you guys want my full updated lineup before lock, please follow me on Twitter and message me, and I'll get you a lineup. I give out lineups for Yahoo, FanDuel, and DraftKings, so if you play on one of those 3 sites, then you can get my lineups. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. You guys have been killing it lately with the ratings, so thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Be sure to like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed. If you never want to miss out on a video, please be sure to click the bell icon next to my YouTube name, and you'll get a notification every time I upload. So if you never want to miss out on a video, please be sure to do that. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Good luck tonight.
Cry, I apologize a trillion times. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.